What? What am I? Where am I? What year is it? You broke your promise to the viewers. I know you said you weren't going to this year, but you did. Wait. It was just October. We just raised the banner. I was there. What do you mean? What do you mean I broke my promise? It's game 45. Yeah, you got like 2 games of this new season, new me thing, and then you fell off the face of the earth. So, better late than never, I guess. Just shut up. I get it. I'm sorry. Well, I'm back. I'm just as surprised as anybody else that it took me this long to get back, but life is hard, and I am only just now realizing just how foolhardy I was back in October, making all these promises that I'd be just this great content creator. That was before I decided to get punched in the face by law school, because if you didn't know already, that's pretty hard, and I was 5 months younger and 5 months stupider at that time, but got through the first semester, and I'm now back. I was just thinking, when was the last time I talked to you guys? And it was after the second game of the year, 43 games ago. And little did I know that if I had just, stuck to it, I would have gotten to cover a very historic start for the Golden Knights, kicking off the year the best that any reigning Stanley Cup champion ever has, going 11-0-1 in their first 12 games, and it should have been 12-0-1 in their first 13 games, except Logan Thompson decided to give up 3 goals on 5 shots to the Ducks. Totally not bitter still. So I feel like I owe you guys a brief explanation as to why the long break. It's not kept, and I just admitted I'm knee-deep in law school, and I believed that I'd be able to get through it pretty quickly because, I thought I was smarter than I was, and then midterms happened right around the time that I stopped recording, and that, blew my figurative kneecaps off, and then I had to work pretty much straightforward all the way through until Christmas. And in there, I also had a couple of personal things happen that kind of killed my desire, not necessarily to watch the games, but really just kind of hurt my desire to want to put myself out there in the way that these YouTube videos require. But since then, things have gotten better. I spent some time with family, got to do some great traveling over the Christmas holiday, and all the while I really thought about getting back, but in my haste to go home for the holidays, I forgot my light ring, my laptop, and pretty much everything that I need to make these videos at some semblance of a reasonable quality. But that doesn't mean I stopped attending games, as I got to do a couple of things that I've always wanted to do as a Golden Knights fan, first of which being traveling and seeing some games on the road. Got to see a game in Tampa Bay, and it was going well, and then Yuri Patera happened, and then I got to see a game in Florida. I got to see the first matchup between the Panthers and the Golden Knights following the Stanley Cup at a stadium with quite possibly the worst parking situation I have ever seen. And then Yuri Patera happened, and quite possibly the worst first period I've ever seen in organized hockey. So, meh. And so enough about what I've been doing for the last 43 games of Golden Knights hockey. What have they been doing for the last 43 games? And unfortunately, it's not been very pleasant, has it? They started off that nice 11-0-1, and let me check my notes. They have been 15-14-4 since then. So just a smidge over 500 hockey, which is not great. And if you've been watching the games as much as I have, because for better or for worse, I haven't missed one, you know exactly why things have been exceedingly meh. Obviously, the main reason why the Golden Knights have become exceptionally mid over the last little bit is all the injuries. And I have this nice list prepared of all the players that are actually hurt. And I know I'm missing a couple. And these are players who have been hurt. So just bear with me. LT, Hill, Carlson, Carey, Amadio, Theodore, Korzak, Martinez, Haig, Whitecloud, Stevenson, Colasar, Hutton, and so many more. Just to name a few. And that includes some players who have come back. The worst of these has been obviously multiple-fold. Hill's played exactly 5 minutes of hockey in the last month and a half. William Karlsson just got placed on LTIR this morning as of recording this. And the final nail in the coffin, or at least it would be if I had less faith in this team, was Jack Eichel going week to week with lower body surgery after he was named as an all-star, because there is no justice in this world. Of course, Michael Amadio is now out with the flu or something, but he's out for a while as well. Basically, we're getting to the point where we're icing the Henderson Silver Knights, or we're one bit of the flu away from looking like the Golden Knights did 2 years ago. It's gotten to the point where I'm half tempted through this video, Golden Knights management, if you're listening, I can play hockey too. I can play forward, defenseman, goalie, towel boy, practice goalie. Heck, I'll even carry the box of skate blades if you need me to. You need some warm bodies, and things got so bad that the Golden Knights actually lost 7 of 9 games in December, of which I was at 2 of them, and spent 9 hours in a car going to both of those. So yeah. And literally last game, as recording this, I'm recording this on January 20th, the Golden Knights won back-to-back games for the first time since December 6th through 12th, when they won 4 in a row. So things have been pretty lean for the VGK over the last month and a half. And because of this wane in productivity and kind of lack of form, the Golden Knights have kind of come back to the field, so much so that they're not even in first place anymore. They were in first place for pretty much all of last year, it felt like, and for basically all of October and November of this season, but now they're in second, quite a ways back from the Vancouver Canucks, who are in first, and it's gotten to the point where their position in second place in the Pacific Division isn't even solid, as the Edmonton Oilers, who I thought at the beginning of the year were dead to rights and may not even make the playoffs, have decided to do that Edmonton thing and have come back and they have won 12 in a row, and they've got 4 games in hand on the Golden Knights, so which means if they win those 4 games, they're in second place, and they'll probably be pushing for a Pacific Division title if their, friends from BC don't, stop winning. And then even just behind that, the LA Kings are 7 points back of the Golden Knights in 4th place with 3 games in hand, which means it's going to be pretty neck and neck there as well. So things have gone kind of from bad to worse. But as a result of the injuries and the poor play, it's given some players that I didn't really expect would get any playing time this season. It's giving them an opportunity to show what they're made of, which is good for the organization, and it's going to help them get through these lean times when all the players that I've mentioned previous are still injured and out of the lineup. Some of these players that I'm expected and I'm actually excited to see and have produced well, even though they've spent very limited time in the lineup. Lucas Cormier, who got his first NHL point in his first game, assisting Eichel on a power play goal. We've got Byron Frazee, who just came up recently in place of Michael Amadio. We've got Sheldon Rempel, who scored 4 goals in Henderson in 1 game, and then on a Wednesday night, and then played against the Rangers on a Thursday night. Talk about a reward, huh? You've got Brendan Brisson, who just got called up in place of goodness knows who he's in place of right now. But he's playing okay. I would like to see him play a little bit better, but he's still adjusting. And Bruce is probably hammering into his thick head that defense wins championships. Pavel Dorofeev, who was like the honorary extra forward, the 13th forward at the start of the year, has now pretty much made a home for himself on the second line with Mark Stone and Chandler Stevenson, which is great to see. He's put up really good numbers so far, and he's continuing to have what is going to be a career year for him. Jonas Rondbjerg just got called up literally yesterday, so I'm going to expect he's going to have a bit more playing time. He had a decent first couple of appearances with the VGK earlier this year in place of injuries. He plays really good defensive hockey, and I think he's potted a goal as well. And, of course, my favorite defenseman is finally coming back off of LTIR in Daniil Miramanov, and he's a hangnail from one of the D-Corps away from getting regular playing time in the NHL, and I'm genuinely shocked he hasn't gotten into a game yet. That's a much longer list of players coming back into the lineup than I expected even at the start of this year, when I knew after the shortest offseason in team history, things would get a little bit interesting. So, how are we feeling as a fan base? And I know there are some people who are feeling better than me, and there are some people who are feeling way worse than me. But I, for one, am a little bit on the concern side. This concern really circles back to the injuries, and if it was to lesser players, third line, fourth line, third pair defenseman guys, I wouldn't be as worried. But Eichel just had surgery literally the game after being named to the All-Star team, who now he's not going to be able to play, which really sucks for him. He's out week to week, recovering. Theo's still out week to week. He's not close. Carlson's just got put on LTIR.
Probably because he's missing just 10 games, so he can go on LTIR to get the cap relief. He can come back anytime because there's no penalty for it.
Hill is kind of stuck in a permanent cycle of will he, won't he. He played like 5 minutes in a game, gave up a power play goal, and then immediately got yanked out of the game. Thank goodness Thompson won. Team goal scoring has been a bit of a problem, not necessarily recently. The Golden Knights have put up a pretty sizable amount of goals in their last 2 wins, but for a while there, they were scoring 1 goal, 2 goals if they were lucky. And, you're getting decent goaltending performances, but ultimately there was just nothing going in the net on the other side, which was a little bit of an alarming trend. The most alarming trend, however, for the last 40 games has been the special teams. The Golden Knights have lost the special team battles more this year than I think they ever have in a single season, and the season's not even halfway over yet. 18th on the power play over halfway through the year with that much firepower. I know some of it's hurt now, but 18th in the league on the power play is just not good. 20.9%. That's just marginally better than 1 out of every 5. And you're not going to get 5 power plays a game. So you got to get those numbers up if you want to be productive. Normally, you want you want them to add up to 100, your power play plus your penalty kill. That means you're having a decent year. And technically they do add up to 100, but only just because the VGK penalty kill is rocking at 79.9% or 15th in the NHL, so just better than halfway. The problem with that stat is because, yes, it does add up to 100. A month ago, the Golden Knights had the second best penalty kill in the NHL. And then they gave up 2 power play goals in 4 straight games. And it's kind of been downhill since then. And that's where my concern really lies, because when they win the special teams battle, they win the game. When they lose the special teams battle, they lose the game. And when they tie the special teams battle, they also pretty much lose the game because the power play has been a little bit of a momentum killer for the last couple weeks. I think I've been saying this for 3 years, and only one of those years is on record. Nothing illustrates the Golden Knights' backslide this season than going from 1st overall in the NHL to 7th overall in the NHL in 3 weeks. And this is kind of illustrated by the fact that we're on pace to not just break the franchise record for most times shut out in a single season, we're on pace to demolish that stat. In case you're wondering, because I was for a little bit, and now I know, and you guys have to know, the most the Golden Knights have ever been shut out in a single season is 7. Happened in that fated 21-22 season where all the injuries happened, just like this year has gone so far. Through 45 games, the Golden Knights have been shut out 5 times. I'm not good at math, that's why I'm in law school, but that's not good. That's really, really not good. And so all that is just why there's just genuinely a lot of concern coming from this fan about this team. But I can't leave you on a sour note because that's just not the way that I do this. The team won the Stanley Cup, and so repeating is really hard, and you got to give them some deference, and I'm going to highlight some of the positive things that have happened in recent history. Mark Stone got his first hat trick in the regular season against the Nashville Predators on Monday, which was really, really cool. That was a really fun game to watch. He literally was the epitome of the Thanos meme, saying, "Fine, I'll do it myself," scoring goals 1, 2, and 3 of an eventual 4-1 win, which was great. And there's absolutely no complaining. Nothing is better than getting the captain going because that builds up the whole team. The youth is getting a really, really good opportunity to show what they're made of. I know I've said it once before, but Brisson, Cormier, Korczak, Pahal, Dorofeev, Rempel, and soon-to-be Miramanov, those are all very good players that are going to be part of the Golden Knights core in the future, assuming we don't trade them for something. And so giving them the opportunity and having them fill in and develop in impactful roles in Bruce Cassidy's system. Brisson's on the 3rd line right now, but that 3rd line is basically the 2nd line anywhere else in the NHL. And it's good to see that he's getting the opportunity on the 2nd power play unit. That extends to Cormier when he was up with the VGK, was on the 1st power play unit. Make that one make sense. In his NHL debut, he's on the 1st power play unit. That hasn't happened since Cale Makar. And so there's a lot of positives to take from the youth. Another thing that we're seeing is that this city, especially the media in Vegas, aren't going to turn on their team anytime soon, because even through all these struggles, the media never turned on Coach Bruce Cassidy, never turned on Captain Mark Stone or any of the leadership core, even the ones that were hurt and even the ones that were healthy. I'm looking at you, Toronto. This is how you deal with the losing streak. And, of course, the most recent positive news for the Golden Knights is the new team dog, Maverick. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but they have a team dog. He's adorable, and I think he is going to be this season's Annabelle, which was absolutely stellar for the Golden Knights last year after the Make-A-Wish night. You don't need me to go into that because we all followed it during the regular season into the playoffs and ultimately with her lifting the Stanley Cup. Nothing would make me happier than to be making a video in May or early June being able to put a picture right here of Maverick in the Stanley Cup. One day. I can dream. I can dream. And as for the frequency of this content, I am going to try my absolute best, especially now that I've had a week of school to know what my semester looks like. I'm going to try my best to keep up with the content because I forgot how fun this was. I is back. I am so happy to be back. And I really hope that something in the universe makes me making these videos make the Golden Knights play better just like it did last season. So that being said, thank you for sticking around and thank you for being patient with me. I promise you that your patience will be rewarded. I've still got some projects that I'm editing together that are have kind of been on the back burner for a little bit, but I am super excited to show you what I've been working on. And I can't wait to get back to covering games on a game-by-game basis because I miss talking about games to you, the people. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.